Watergate scandal, 1970s. President Nixon's team thought breaking into the Democratic headquarters would be a great way to get the dirt, but it turns out they just ended up knee-deep in their own mess. Nixon tried to cover it up, but the scandal snowballed faster than a politician at a lie detector test. When tapes of Nixon's conversations were found, his defense unraveled like a poorly knit sweater. Nixon ended up resigning, proving once and for all that crime doesn't pay, unless you count political kickbacks. Enron scandal, 2001. Enron executives decided that honesty in accounting was for chumps and proceeded to hide billions in debt, essentially playing hide and seek with their finances. When their creative bookkeeping was exposed, the company's stock plummeted faster than you can say corporate fraud. The scandal resulted in Enron's bankruptcy, and its top executives traded their corner offices for prison cells. The lesson? Cooking the books leads to getting cooked by the law. The Panama Papers, 2016. When the Panama Papers leak happened, the world discovered that the rich were playing a game of hide and seek with their taxes. Turns out, hiding money in offshore accounts is the adult version of stuffing your broccoli under the mashed potatoes. The leak implicated politicians, celebrities, and business moguls who were all caught with their financial pants down. The moral? You can run from taxes, but you can't hide from a data leak. Volkswagen emissions scandal, 2015. Volkswagen got caught red-handed installing software to cheat emissions tests, proving their cars were more deceitful than a politician's campaign promises. They sold clean diesel cars that were anything but, with emissions up to 40 times the legal limit. When the truth came out, VW's reputation went up in smoke faster than their exhaust fumes. The scandal led to billions in fines and a lot of angry customers wondering why their eco-friendly cars were actually eco-fiendly. Bernie Madoff Ponzi scheme, 2008. Bernie Madoff convinced people to invest in a fund that was really just a giant shell game, moving money around to give the illusion of profits. His scheme was the financial equivalent of selling oceanfront property in Arizona. When the house of cards finally collapsed, investors were out billions, and Madoff went from Wall Street mogul to inmate number 61727-054. The takeaway? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, especially if Bernie Madoff is involved. Clinton-Lewinsky scandal, 1998. President Clinton's affair with intern Monica Lewinsky became the scandal that launched 1,000 late-night jokes. The affair and subsequent cover-up led to his impeachment, turning the Oval Office into the ultimate soap opera set. Clinton's infamous line, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman," became a hallmark of denial. The whole debacle proved that in politics, as in life, sometimes your biggest enemy is your zipper. Iran-Contra affair, 1980s. Senior U.S. officials thought it would be a grand idea to secretly sell arms to Iran and funnel the profits to Nicaraguan rebels, despite an arms embargo. It was like a high-stakes version of Don't Tell Mom, but with missiles. When the scheme was uncovered, it caused a political firestorm and several resignations. The lesson here? When it comes to covert operations, loose lips sink presidencies. Tiger Woods scandal, 2009. Tiger Woods' reputation took a nosedive faster than a golf ball off a cliff when news of his extramarital affairs broke. The world found out Tiger wasn't just swinging clubs off the course. His personal life became tabloid fodder, leading to sponsorships dropping him faster than a bad habit. It turns out you can't just putt your way out of a scandal. O.J. Simpson trial, 1995. The O.J. Simpson trial was a media circus where the former NFL star was accused of double murder. Despite a mountain of evidence that seemed to scream guilty, Simpson was acquitted, leading to endless debates and TV specials. The glove didn't fit, so they had to acquit, but the trial left a lasting mark on America's legal and cultural landscape. It was the courtroom drama that turned everyone into armchair detectives. Theranos scandal, 2015. Elizabeth Holmes promised revolutionary blood testing technology but delivered nothing more than a high-tech con job. Theranos turned out to be a house of cards with machines that worked about as well as a chocolate teapot. The scandal revealed Holmes' knack for deception and resulted in the company's spectacular collapse. The moral? If your breakthrough technology is more fiction than science, your career might end up in the test tube. The Catholic Church Sexual Abuse Scandal, 2000s. The Catholic Church was rocked by revelations of widespread sexual abuse by priests and systematic cover-ups by church officials. It turned out that moving abusive priests to new parishes was a recipe for disaster, not redemption. The scandal shattered the faith of many and led to numerous lawsuits and financial settlements. The takeaway? Confession might be good for the soul, but cover-ups are catastrophic. Harvey Weinstein Scandal, 2017. Harvey Weinstein was exposed as a serial predator, with countless women accusing him of sexual harassment and assault. His downfall sparked the Me Too movement, leading to a global reckoning with sexual misconduct. Weinstein went from Hollywood mogul to prison inmate faster than a script rewrite. The scandal proved that no amount of power or influence can shield you from justice forever. The FIFA Corruption Scandal, 2015. FIFA officials were found to be engaging in corruption so extensive it made organized crime look like a charity raffle. Indicted for racketeering, wire fraud, and money laundering, the officials had been treating FIFA's coffers like their personal piggy banks. The scandal exposed the seedy underbelly of the world's most popular sport. It turns out the only thing more scandalous than a bad referee call is FIFA's financial dealings. Lehman Brothers collapse, 2008. Lehman Brothers bankruptcy was the financial equivalent of pulling the wrong block in Jenga, triggering a global economic crisis. Their risky investments and poor risk management practices sent shockwaves through the economy. When they went under, they took a lot of other businesses with them, like a sinking ship with too many lifeboats. The collapse taught us all that when it comes to finance, it pays to play it safe. The Lance Armstrong Doping Scandal, 2012. Lance Armstrong's career unraveled when it was revealed he used performance-enhancing drugs to win his Tour de France titles. His denials were as robust as his training regimen, but eventually the truth came out and he was stripped of his titles. Armstrong's story went from inspiring to cautionary faster than a downhill sprint. The scandal was a reminder that cheating might get you ahead, but honesty will keep you there. The Russian Doping Scandal, 2016. Russia's state-sponsored doping program was a plot twist worthy of a spy novel, aimed at dominating international sports. When the scheme was exposed, it led to widespread bans and sanctions against Russian athletes. It turned out their athletes were less about natural talent and more about needlepoint precision. The scandal showed that winning at all costs can lead to losing it all. The Catholic Church's Boston Scandal, 2002. Exposed by the Boston Globe, this scandal revealed systematic sexual abuse by priests and an institutional cover-up that spanned decades. The revelations were like peeling of an onion, with each layer more tear-inducing than the last. The scandal led to a massive legal settlement and a crisis of faith among the congregation. It highlighted the need for accountability and transparency within religious institutions. The Facebook Cambridge Analytica Scandal, 2018. Facebook found itself in hot water when it was revealed that Cambridge Analytica harvested data from millions of users without their consent for political ads. The scandal was like finding out your diary had been read out loud at a town meeting. Mark Zuckerberg faced congressional hearings, and users felt their privacy had been violated. The incident was a wake-up call about the power and perils of social media. Deepwater Horizon oil spill, 2010. The BP oil rig explosion caused an environmental disaster that was more slippery than an eel on an oil-slicked beach. Millions of barrels of oil gushed into the Gulf of Mexico, wreaking havoc on marine life and local economies. BP's attempts to plug the leak were like trying to put a Band-Aid on a volcano. The spill showed that when it comes to oil drilling, safety should never take a back seat. The Boeing 737 MAX scandal, 2018 to 2019. Boeing 737 MAX aircraft had design flaws that led to 2 fatal crashes, grounding the fleet worldwide. The planes were more dangerous than a toddler with a toolkit. Boeing's rush to market and inadequate safety checks led to tragic consequences. The scandal underscored the importance of putting passenger safety above corporate profits. The BCCI scandal, 1991. The Bank of Credit and Commerce International, BCCI, was involved in money laundering, fraud, and a host of illegal activities, making it the Bernie Madoff of banks. Their operations were shadier than a sunless day in winter. When regulators finally caught up, BCCI collapsed, leaving a trail of financial ruin. The scandal was a reminder that sometimes the bank you trust might be the biggest crook. The 1MDB scandal, 2015. The Malaysian state fund, 1MDB, was embezzled by government officials, including former Prime Minister Najib Razak, in a plot that was as audacious as it was corrupt. They siphoned off billions to buy everything from real estate to Hollywood movies. When the scandal broke, it led to international investigations and political upheaval in Malaysia. It turns out, when you steal from the people tend to notice. The News of the World phone hacking scandal, 2011. The British tabloid was caught hacking into voicemails of celebrities and crime victims, proving that their journalistic ethics were more flexible than a yoga instructor. The scandal led to the paper's closure and several high-profile arrests. It was a reminder that the quest for a scoop should never trump basic decency. The fallout showed that prying into private lives can come with a hefty price. The Petrobras scandal, 2014. Brazil's state-run oil company was embroiled in a corruption scandal involving kickbacks and political graft. Petrobras, executives and politicians were caught with their hands in the till, treating the company like their personal ATM. The scandal sparked massive protests and political turmoil in Brazil. It was a stark reminder that when it comes to public funds, transparency is crucial. Wells Fargo Fake Accounts Scandal, 2016. Wells Fargo employees created millions of unauthorized bank accounts to meet sales targets, turning customer service into a dirty phrase. Customers were left with charges for accounts they never knew existed. The scandal led to hefty fines and a public relations nightmare for Wells Fargo. It was a lesson that pushing employees too hard can lead to pushing customers away. Russiagate, 2016 through 2020. The investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election was like a spy thriller with a reality TV twist. Allegations of collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia led to endless investigations and media frenzy. The Mueller report's findings were as anticipated as a blockbuster movie's release. In the end, the scandal left the nation divided, proving that politics can be stranger than fiction. The Zumba Scandal, 2012. In a plot twist no one saw coming, a Zumba instructor was running a prostitution ring out of her studio, turning fitness into a full-service operation. The scandal rocked the small town of Kennebunk, Maine, with more drama than a daytime soap. Clients range from the town's elite to everyday folks, making the scandal even juicier. It was a reminder that sometimes life is indeed stranger than fiction. The Spygate Scandal, 2007. The New England Patriots were caught videotaping opposing teams' signals, proving they could play dirty both on and off the field. The scandal earned them the nickname Cheatriots and resulted in hefty fines. Coach Bill Belichick's defense was about as solid as a deflated football. The incident showed that in the NFL, fair play is paramount, even if you're really good at bending the rules. Penn State sexual abuse scandal, 2011. Assistant coach Jerry Sandusky's conviction for sexually abusing young boys rocked Penn State, tarnishing its storied football program. The university's response, or lack thereof, added fuel to the fire, leading to widespread outrage. Head coach Joe Paterno's legacy was forever tainted, showing that silence can be just as damaging as the crime itself. The scandal underscored the importance of protecting vulnerable individuals over reputations. The Duke lacrosse case, 2006. False rape accusations against Duke University lacrosse players led to a media frenzy and a rush to judgment. The players were eventually exonerated, but not before their lives were upended. The case highlighted issues of due process and media sensationalism. It was a sobering reminder that justice should never be a spectator sport. Operation Varsity Blues, 2019. The college admissions bribery scandal revealed that celebrities and wealthy families were buying their kids' way into top schools. The scheme was more elaborate than a heist movie, with fake athletic profiles and rigged test scores. When it all came crashing down, it led to arrests and a public outcry over educational inequality. The scandal showed that sometimes the biggest barrier to entry is a fat wallet. Hillary Clinton email controversy, 2016. Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server for official communications was the scandal that launched 1,000 conspiracy theories. The controversy dogged her presidential campaign and led to a lengthy FBI investigation. In the end, the issue was more about optics than outright criminality. It highlighted the fine line between carelessness and misconduct in the digital age. The NKF scandal, 2005. The National Kidney Foundation, Singapore, was caught misusing donated funds, turning charity into their personal piggy bank. CEO T.T. Durai was living large on donations meant for patients, with lavish expenses and dubious contracts. The scandal led to public outrage and a complete overhaul of the foundation. It was a stark reminder that charity begins at home and should stay there. The Bre-X mining scandal, 1997. Bre-X falsely claimed to have discovered a massive gold deposit in Indonesia, leading to a stock market frenzy. When the truth came out that the gold samples were salted, the company's stock plummeted faster than a dropped gold nugget. The scandal wiped out billions in investor value and left a lasting mark on the mining industry. It was a golden lesson in greed and gullibility. The R. Kelly scandal, 2019. R. Kelly faced numerous charges of sexual abuse and exploitation, turning his life into a courtroom drama. The revelations were as shocking as a high note in one of his songs. His musical legacy was overshadowed by the severity of his crimes. The scandal underscored the importance of believing survivors and holding perpetrators accountable. The 2022 Olympic doping scandal. Russian athletes were banned from competing under their flag due to a state-sponsored doping program that was more elaborate than a James Bond plot. The scandal cast a shadow over the Olympics, with athletes competing under a neutral flag. It was a stark reminder that in sports, fair play should always trump national pride. The incident highlighted the lengths some will go to for gold. The Weinstein Company scandal, 2017. Harvey Weinstein's sexual misconduct led to the downfall of the Weinstein Company, proving that bad behavior could topple even Hollywood giants. The revelations were a catalyst for the Me Too movement, changing the industry forever. Weinstein's actions turned the company from a powerhouse to a cautionary tale. The scandal showed that no amount of power or success can shield you from the consequences of your actions. The Black Sox Scandal, 1919. The Chicago White Sox players were accused of throwing the World Series in a scheme orchestrated by gamblers. The scandal tarnished America's pastime and led to lifetime bans for the players involved. It was a dramatic reminder that not even baseball is immune to corruption. The incident left a lasting legacy, ensuring that integrity would always be paramount in the sport. The Teapot Dome Scandal, 1920s. U.S. government officials accepted bribes in exchange for oil leases, proving that corruption can seep into even the highest offices. The scandal involved Secretary of the Interior Albert Fall, whose pockets were as deep as the oil reserves he was selling. When the scheme was uncovered, it led to public outrage and landmark legislation on government corruption. The scandal became a symbol of the Roaring Twenties' darker side, when money flowed as freely as the oil.